My senior year, my uncle, he um, needed a kidney, and our school actually put on like a organ donor awareness kind of event to kind of like draw attention to it. And I knew like in high school and even like when I was first finding out about his condition and how he needed a kidney that I wanted to do it. But being so young, and then I had like other health problems with like my weight and stuff, um, it just never really went through, like I wouldn't have been able to do it. And my parents were kind of hesitant on letting me donate my kidney just because there was a waiting list, and um, they were hoping that he'd be able to get it. But then he had some health problems too. With his heart, he had a very minor heart attack. But once you have those health problems, when you're at like the top of a waiting list, they knock you all the way back down to the bottom, because why would you give a good organ to someone with health problems? But really, his heart attack was not really, a reflection of his health. Like, he's a really healthy guy and stuff. So I just knew he was on his third year of dialysis, and he was just getting really run down. And it kind of had like an impact on the entire family. He has young girls and stuff. The oldest is a freshman in high school, and then he has two others that are like in sixth grade. And I just thought about like how that was affecting them. I remembered my junior year of high school, my dad had quadruple bypass, and that was really hard on me. It just gives you a lot of anxiety worrying about your parents' health and stuff. And that was me as a junior in high school, and I knew his girls were younger and they still had to have that anxiety. And I knew that there was something I could do about it. My health got better, so I just seen an opportunity. Things just kind of lined up how I wanted them to, and I donated my kidney to him. I didn't see it as a possibility with what my weight was. At one point in time, I was almost like 300 pounds. So luckily, I'm down near the 200 mark. So that's a lot of weight that I lost. But I would have not have imagined that I would have gotten healthy enough to be able to do this. So the fact that I was able to lose the weight and get into better health just kind of proved like my body's capable of it, and my mind was capable of it. And it's just, I don't know, things lined up how they should. If I wouldn't have lost the weight, I would have never been able to donate the kidney. Have a certain your health has to be in a certain condition before you're even able to be considered for donation. First, it started out as getting into a better shape with college and stuff. I didn't want to be starting a new life over at my heavy state. But then things just kind of, once I got down maybe like my first 30-40 pounds, I started to consider other things that could come from this. And I did think about my uncle throughout a couple times while I was doing it, but I never claimed that was like my first, like the reason I did it. We had a check-in, we had a follow-up. They just wanted to make it clear, because when I was going through all those interviews and stuff, they don't mean to do it, but it is kind of their job. They have to tell you all the wrong scenarios that can go wrong. And they said a lot of people don't get through that third round of testing and stuff because the questions they ask and the things that could go wrong, I guess. When they are discussing those with you, a lot of people get really scared because it is a lot that they throw at you all at one time. That third round of testing was an all-day thing where they had me talking with all these different people. So it does like create a lot of anxiety and stuff. But then they give you about a week to think it over. They did do more testing and stuff just to make sure everything else matches up. And then if you're all good, they'll call you back and they'll ask you if you're all set to go. And it was a lot though, because when they were drilling me with all those questions and stuff, you just think about everything that can go wrong. But I knew that the risk was worth the rewards. I would just say like my family is really close, so just that sense of family and belonging to something. The McCardle family is lovely, and I just love them all. And um, being part of something that is so strong and so loving, you really would do anything for each other. And that was just one of the things that was I just really, I think with like this transition stage in life, it's easy for a lot of people to get thrown off on their priorities and stuff, but I feel like family is definitely a main priority to have, and education and all that is very important too, obviously. But I did take off a couple weeks from school just to go through this, so a lot of my professors worked with me and stuff, and it was really cool. I don't know, a lot of people were really respectful and honored what I was doing, and I guess just I really prioritize my family. Yeah, they've always been big supporters of me. I mean, my uncle and my aunt, they'd go to football games on Friday nights when I was a senior, and they'd cheer me on. So you just kind of get that sense of the family. You'd have the cousins coming up and cheering you on, and we would all cheer each other on with everything that we were doing, and this was one thing that they all supported me with. And I mean, we kind of went in as a team. We were both trying to get his health. He was working really hard to get his health in the right position to have the surgery and to be healthy for his kids while he was on dialysis. So I guess looking at that as like being a family and then part of a team, me donating was me helping him out to do his daily routine of being a father and being a worker and all that stuff. I don't know. I feel maybe my young age made me a little more courageous and a little more reckless, but I just feel like, I don't know, your age doesn't define your heart and stuff. Like, I mean, obviously some things come with age, but you have to be selfless, and I feel like that's a big thing is, especially today, a lot of people are very selfish, and in many ways there's a lot of examples today on how people are selfish, and I feel like me being selfless, obviously that helps my family out and stuff too, but it also puts a good energy out there too. Like, here's an example of being selfless and just showing unconditional love, and hopefully my chain reaction will teach people to stop being selfish and maybe think of others. A lot of people have reached out to me. I know there's been a lot of people who've seen my story on social media, and they reached out to me and sent me messages and have called me and asked me. I've had like groups in the community come to me and talk to me about my donation, and you'd be surprised how many people are impacted by this and how many people are depending on a donor to come into their life. I've met so many people. I've met a man who I've known for maybe like 5-6 years, and he's been a kidney donor, and I would have never known. A lot of people have asked me what I've had to go through, and they've asked me how the surgery went for me, and a lot of people even told me as like my story has inspired them to go to the Secretary of State and have their license changed to be an organ donor. They provided me with a lot of sources that I could go to. If there was any emotional trouble that I went to, they offer you emotional support and like access to like therapists and stuff. A lot of people, I didn't know this, but a lot of people actually go through a lot of emotional distress after donating, just because it's just, I don't know if it has something to do with the thought that your body, like maybe they're just overwhelmed by how much they've done giving to someone, or the thought that your organs can just be easily pulled from you. My family was a really big support system, so I didn't have to go through as much emotional trouble as some people who have donated. Some people don't even know who they're donating to. They just donate out of the goodness of their heart and to a stranger, which is incredible. But my family was a huge support. They would text me. My uncle would text me. My aunt would text me. They would reach out to me. I had other aunts and uncles that would reach out to me and just check in on me. And our family is really close, which is amazing. I had a couple aunts and uncles and cousins that showed up to the hospital right after just to check in on us. And they were a big support, and they did help me throughout it. I don't know. It was just nice that you could really feel the love, I guess. And I don't know if a lot of people go through that distress because they don't necessarily get that support. I know there is a lot of skepticism on it, especially for young people to be donating. Like if you donated to a stranger, a lot of people see that as naive, and sometimes that does get to people who have donated because you're trying to do something out of the kindness of your heart, and a lot of people are looking at you like you're crazy. Don't let fear keep you from that if it's something you really want to do, because there is a lot of people who need it and it is a positive experience.